And that goes back. Everything has a genesis, okay? All right, and it goes back to when you had Antiochus enslaving our Israelite brothers, all right, and sisters, all right, enslaving them and forcing his God on them. So all these years later, they became like Romans. They became like the real Gentiles. And then Peter came to them, and then later Paul, and tried to convert them back to their nationality. It's just that simple, all right?
Yeah, Khan, that's right. That's right. You know, he wouldn't allow them to circumcise their children. He wouldn't allow them to keep the Sabbath. They had to eat pork.
Wasn't it?
Or they were put to death. That's
Wasn't there a penalty of death if they had circumcised?
Yeah, they one instance where the women circumcised their children, they hung the mother, and I believe they hung the child right on the mother.
There you go.
You know?
And that's why the Jews called them the uncircumcision.
And they knew that history.
Yeah, the other nations, it wasn't the circumcision wasn't for them. The circumcision was for the Israelites. Yep. But you had a group of Israelites that were forced into slavery. All right, and part of that being forced into slavery meant they could not circumcise, or they could not get circumcised.
And you got to remember that them Jews during the time of Yahushua, they were that history was very fresh from the Greek Empire. You know, it was fresh. It wasn't that old. It was only maybe a couple, maybe not even 200 years old.
I got something for you. This is from Wikipedia, entitled Antiochus IV Epiphanes. All right, and it says here, to consolidate his empire and strengthen his hold over the region, Antiochus decided to side with the Hellenized Jews. Those are the Israelites that became Hellenized, meaning they started following the ways of the Greeks, by outlawing Jewish religious rites and traditions. Those are our traditions, all right, kept by observant Jews, which goes back to the law. One of those traditions was circumcision, kept by observant Jews, and by ordering the worship of Zeus as the supreme God. So here you have Israelites starting to worship Zeus now. And some of you Israelites, you're victims of that today. You worship a so-called white man as your God. He's known as Caesar Borgia. Right? Kept by observant Jews, and by ordering the worship of Zeus as the supreme God. And they even give you a scripture, 2 Maccabees 6, 1-12. This was anathema to the Jews, and when they refused, Antiochus sent an army to enforce his decree. Because of the resistance, the city was destroyed, many were slaughtered, and a military Greek citadel called Acra was established. Yeah. Hey, well, it says, when the enemy shall approach you as a flood, the Spirit of the Lord shall raise up an ensign against them. So that's going to happen again. That is the history of the so-called white man.
Then shall be known who am I chosen.
Then shall we know who am I chosen. Because earlier Elder Tahar made a statement, which is true. He said, a lot of you guys in GMS, I don't like Great Millstone. A lot of you guys in Great Millstone, you're going to take that chip, man.
Yeah, a lot of you guys are weak, man. A lot of you guys are getting disenchanted. You know, a lot of you guys are going through the motions. And then there's a lot of third titties out there, man. And if you don't get with the program, man, Most High gonna push you out the door, man. You know? Hey, because you know what my job, I was thinking the other day about what my job is, because I'm thinking about Nate, because he's going out trying to establish this and break ground over there and build a building. That's not our job. Our job is to use whatever vehicle like YouTube and other sites and so forth, and going out in the highways and byways and teaching the truth, man.
Push this word, yeah.
That's it. And in the hopes that others may listen and become teachers, man.
Yeah.
Our job is not to build monuments and, wear sequin garments and do catons and all that, man.
Yeah.
That's all well and good if you do that. Hey, but that's not our job, man. You don't got to put extra seasoning on it, all right? That's right. Our job is what we're doing. That's what you're supposed to do, man. Okay? Well, we're trying to say I'm going to take a year off. I'm going to go back to work for, be a consultant for Pepsi Cola, so I can come back and I can build a school. No, just teach, man. You don't need a lot of money to teach. You guys are full of shit, man. You guys are full of shit.
That's right.
Anyway, I'm going to read this here. This is Acts 10 and 28. It says, and he said unto them, ye know, and I want you to go to the blue letter on this, ye know how that it is an unlawful thing for a man that is a Jew to keep company or come unto one of another nation. But the Most High have showed me that I should not call any man common or unclean. Now he was talking about, he was talking to Cornelius, which Cornelius probably had to be a dark-skinned man, could have been a medium brown man. All right, he had to me he had the looks of an Israelite. We got an icon on it. But anyway, but the way he was uncircumcised. All right. And then he probably did get circumcised since he heard about the truth, but he was still dressed. He still had his Roman, his Gentile ways, but he wanted that truth. Okay, that's why Paul said in Colossians, "Let no man judge you on meats, drinks, respect of a Sabbath day." All right, which is the new moons, which is a shadow of things to come. Meaning the shadow of things to come is talking about the kingdom. Because right now, a guy that back then, you had the circumcision, which were the Jews, Judeans, or Jews, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, that kept all those high holy days, whose parents circumcised them on the 8th day according to the law. Who were, so what they call bar mitzvah, became a man at the age of 12. A woman became a woman at the age of 12. Okay, so they kept all those customs. They didn't eat pork and other unclean things, and they were under the covenant. All right, a bar mitzvah is a man that's under the covenant. He comes up under the law. So if he's 12 years old and he breaks a law unto death, he's gonna be put to death. Oh, but he's a 12-year-old kid. He should have got it. He should have got it. Okay. So we had all those laws correctly. The garments that we wore, the fringes, the phylacteries, the high holy days, the civil laws, the moral laws, the dietary laws, and so forth. The ceremonial laws, the burial laws, the laws of giving birth, our language, which is part of our culture, right? Which Cornelius didn't have. He might have had some aspects of it, but he still had that Gentile look to him. Okay? Now, when you look up the word nation, look up the word nation. I don't know if it's right in there or you got to go to the root. And the word nation really means tribe. Go to nation. Go to nation. Click on nation.
Yeah, they have the Greek word there, alophilos.
So click on it.
All right. I was looking at it. There's two root words.
But what does the word say right there? The
foreign. It says foreign.
Foreign. That only says so much. That only goes so far.
Right, right.
Go ahead now. Click on the root word, Ak. You should have two root words.
Yep. Alos, which is another or other.
Go to the other.
That's the first word.
Another. Go to the other word.
And the other word is
it's going to be. Go ahead.
Is a fula.
And what does it mean?
Tribe.
It means tribe.
Another tribe.
So it's talking about an Israelite outside of, because when the split came, when you go back into the history of the splitting of the kingdom of the kingdom of Judah and the kingdom of Israel, they looked at the kingdom of Judah looked at the kingdom of Israel as they ain't even Israelites no more.
Right.
So that's how Peter and them looked at Cornelius.
That's right.
Now he could have been a Judite that was sold into slavery, or great-great-grandparents were sold into slavery at the hands of Antiochus, either the Antiochus, namely Antiochus Epiphanes, or the fourth, and he was sold into slavery and was raised up in the Greekish fashion, the Greekish customs, man. And there were Israelites that were in Jerusalem, when Antiochus Epiphanes put out the order to not circumcise your kids, don't speak Hebrew, speak Greek, be involved in the Hellenizing of your people, and you had some that revolted against it, but you had many that were for it. They said, "Look," and they gave them a license to be, license to do that wickedness, man.
Mm-hmm.
So now you have generations of children that are taught these Greek